Mwiko 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 mwingi wa Kamiriithu mutiuke tunyitane.
My name is Grace Wambui Mwangi. I was born in the year 1999. I'm the third born of 3 children. My father, Simon Mwangi, and my mother, Veronica Wamuhu. I started my education at Limuru Mission Primary School. Then from there, I was transferred to Limuru town, since my father thought it was a much better school than Limuru Mission. He based that decision from the fact that he's also a teacher. My whole life I've been brought up and raised up in this place. Yeah, and I grew up in the knowledge of Limuru as a hub for tea production, since there are 3 tea plantations just down here from my home. I think I know of my father's past more than I know of my mother's. My father was born and half raised just in this location of Limuru, but in a tea workers' quarters, just there it's called Maburuki, that area. His father was he was working at the tea factory at Maburuki, that's the Unilever tea factory, as a supervisor. I know the working conditions of the tea, because are so bad. They have to get up early in the morning, regardless of the weather here, regardless of the season. And they have to be there by 5, some 6, till midday, picking up tea leaves. And the pay is not that pretty much a good pay. And the living conditions at the servants' quarters is not that good, since the size of the houses is very small. Due to that size, my grandmother had to move out of that place so that she could have a much bigger place. So when my father was, I guess, in college, she moved out of Maburuki and went to live in Nakuru, where she had land there, a much bigger house. The same conditions were still there. Those houses, those servants' houses, they are so old. When I was going to school, I remember, like, in the mornings, the siren at Bata would go off at 7, and that would really also signal me when I was on my way that I was late at arriving school, since we were also getting in at 7 a.m. And the other memory is the whole of the marketplace. When I was coming out of school, I used to take that route through the marketplace. It was an exciting place full of people you've never seen. And also the fact that my mother works at the marketplace. The other memory I have is of the railway line and the railway station. Whenever the train was passing by, and you could hear it from school, or even when I was going to school, you could hear the train going through, and the railway station. I think it's a unique place due to Ngugi, so as the place where he hails from. What I saw as different for me was those children who are from Limuru town, whose parents also, like, some of them used to live in Bata. I don't know why I thought of it that way. Back then I used to think we are privileged, not like me living in the village. Also that, Bata is so close to Limuru town. I used to envy the fact that they never walked that far to school. And I thought of Bata as a cool place. You know, it's so green from outside. The shoes that they produce. Yeah. I used to think of them as cool kid. I would have chosen like to be from town, from Limuru, to be a cool kid. Kamiriithu was it's just crossing the highway, then you're into Limuru, the village life for any other Kenyan child. Most of my classmates were from Kamiriithu. And another time that I had gone there to visit a friend. It's like a ghetto. So it has a lot of activity, a lot of people. There's a lot of activity along the road, many house units. And it's just like a wild place. I first heard of the existence of Kamĩrĩĩthũ Theatre after reading Ngugi's works. The first work I read from was Writers in Politics, where he was mentioning about the theatre and its history. That was when I was in second year at the University of Nairobi. After learning of the presence of the theatre and what it was known for, it made me think differently of Kamiriithu. I never thought that Kamiriithu would be like a host of such, greatness. So in that learning of the Kamiriithu Theatre, I realized the importance of recording down history and the importance of literature in society. So it connects people to their identity or to their past. From that day on, I had a different outlook of Kamiriithu. It makes me have a deep appreciation of this place. I can trace the growth and the progress it has made, and it makes me more aware of the potential to do better based on that knowledge. I find this place to be so aesthetic, a thing that I couldn't see back then when I was small. So that appreciation through literature makes me never to ever want to leave this place. I want to remain in this place for a very long time. So I studied at a rural place, and I never used to have the love that I have for Limuru back then. In fact, I used to be ashamed of where I come from. It's only when I went to university that the appreciation really grew, and I became proud of where I come from. When you remain stuck in one place for maybe in a long time, your mind tends to concentrate on the negative. It's only when you're uprooted from your place and you go to another different place that you get to appreciate the beauty of where you come from. So reading or hearing a different perspective of another person, so that can make you want to change your mind or change your perspective of that place. The town would be a cultural kind of center where people meet just for the sake of art and culture. So it will be a more diverse culture. Through literature, how Ngugi used his words to describe the physical environment of this place. To really take in the aesthetic of the place and you truly see it as it is, as a unique place, as a beautiful place. If I never read Ngugi's work, I probably would be seeing Limuru as that town where nothing ever happens.
Mwingi wa Kamiriithu mũtiũke tũnyitane moko tũthondeke itũũra mwĩkũ